Hi, my name's Ciara from Ciara's Home Yoga. This is Yoga for Posture, and for this class we'll need a strap or a resistance band, or you can even use a towel. All yoga is amazing for posture, but in this class we're going to concentrate on opening our chest, keeping our shoulders back and down, head up straight, and opening our hips and our hip flexors. So let's get started. So we'll start seated with our legs crossed, or you can sit in a cushion if that's more comfortable. To start, we'll bring our shoulders back and down and bring our left hand to our right elbow, to the inside of our right elbow. Right ear to right shoulder, and we'll slowly move our chin up to point to the ceiling. Breathing deeply. In yoga, we breathe into our belly and breathe through our nose. And release. We'll turn our head now to look over our right shoulder and lean our head back. If that feels too much, you can just bring your head back up and look over your shoulder while breathing deeply. And release. Other side. Bring your right hand to the inside of our elbow, left ear to left shoulder, and point our chin up to the ceiling. Shoulders remain back and down. And breathe deeply. And release. Turn our head to look over our left shoulder and lean our head back. Only as much as feels good. And release. We'll grab our strap now. I'm going to turn so you can see me in profile. And we'll hold our strap maybe as wide as our mat to start, and you can play around the distance between your hands. And we're going to do some up and overs, moving like this, working on the mobility of our shoulders. Moving as slowly or as fast as feels good to you. Breathing deeply. One more. And one for good luck. And release. We'll make our way to tabletop now with our hands under our shoulders and our knees under our hips. We're pushing our chest away from our mat here. We'll inhale, look up, drop our belly. Exhale, bring our chin to our chest and squeezing our belly to our spine. We'll repeat this a few more times, moving with our breath. One more time. We'll sit on our heels. If that's not available to you, you can cross your legs behind you and come to sit with our legs crossed. Shoulders back and down, and we'll bring our hands together behind our back and move our hands away from our body. We'll tuck our chin in slightly here. And we're lengthening out of our spine while breathing deeply. Long, slow inhales and long, slow exhales. We'll check in with our jaw just to make sure we're not holding any tension there. And release. Next exercise is similar to our arm clasp, but we just won't clasp our hands. So on our inhales, shoulders back and down, squeezing them back and down, tucking our chin in slightly. And exhale, release. We'll repeat this a few more times, moving with our breath. This is a great exercise to do throughout the day, particularly if you sit at a desk, use a computer a lot, or drive a lot. And release. One more time. And release. We'll come back to tabletop and lower down onto our belly for some cobra flows. We'll bring our hands under our shoulders. We're tucking our elbows into our body, and on our inhales, we're coming up to cobra, keeping our shoulders back and down. Exhale, lower down. We'll repeat this a few more times. On our next inhale, we'll raise our arms behind us and our feet, keeping our shoulders back and down, squeezing them down our back while breathing deeply. And release. We'll bring our head to one side for a rest. Before pushing ourselves back up to tabletop with our hands under our shoulders and our knees under our hips. We'll inhale, reach our right hand up to the ceiling, moving our hips back just an inch or two. Exhale, hand back down. And again. Last one. Other side, reaching up with our left hand. Moving our hips back just an inch or so when we reach up, and then we bring our hand back down again. We'll move our hips forward. Last one. And release. We'll open our knees wide, sit on our heels, and make our way to child's pose. In child's pose, we're reaching our chest towards our mat while breathing deeply. We'll come back up to tabletop and we'll make our way. We'll tuck our toes and make our way to down dog. Bring our hips up to the ceiling. We'll bend our knees here and make sure that we're drawing our tailbone to the ceiling before walking our legs out. We're drawing our chest towards our thighs here while breathing deeply. before coming to stillness. On our next inhale, we'll step forward with our right foot between our hands. Lower our left knee to our mat and untuck our toes. We'll raise our upper body up and our arms up. In this position, we're squaring our hips to the front of our mat and keeping our pelvis tucked. So if we put our hands on our hip bones, our hips remain in line with each other. Here we've a tendency for our right hip to sneak forward. So we'll make sure that our hips stay in alignment with each other. Tailbone tucked and reaching up, breathing deeply. If it feels good, you can walk your toes forward so you feel a deeper hip flexor stretch on the front of your left hip. And breathing deeply. Hands back to our mat. We'll tuck our back toes and step back to our down dog. We'll take a deep breath here. On our next inhale, we'll step forward with our left foot. Left knee down, untuck our toes. And raise our upper body and our arms up. So the same thing at this side. Pelvis is tucked, so we're not arching in our lower back. Our pelvis is tucked under our spine. Shoulders back and down. Hips squared and in line with each other. And hands up and breathe deeply. For a deeper stretch, you can lower your hips. Walk your foot out just so your knee remains directly above your left ankle. And breathe deeply. We're feeling a lovely hip stretch in our right hip flexor here. Hands back to our mat, tuck our toes, and we'll step back to down dog. One last time. I don't think it's our last time. We'll be doing it again. We'll walk our hands towards our feet now. And you can have a slight or a generous bend in your knees here, whatever feels good to you. We'll hold on to our opposite elbows and we'll stay in ragdoll for a few deep breaths. Letting our head hang freely. Inhale, arms up, come up to standing. Exhale, hands down, and we'll make our way to a wall. We're going to do some wall slides now. So we can bring our feet away from a wall. You can start with them quite far away, and we'll bring our hips to touch the wall, our lower back to touch the wall. So we want to touch the wall with our whole spine. Middle thoracic spine touching the wall, shoulders, arms up and hands touching the wall. If that's available to you, you can play around with the location of your ankles, moving them towards the wall for your heels towards the wall for a more intense stretch. So hips against the wall, the entire length of our spine against the wall, and we'll bring our hands to cactus arms, making sure that our head is touching the wall, our chin is tucked in slightly, and we're moving our arms up and down while breathing deeply. We're moving our arms up and down, but our shoulders remain down. And release. We'll make our way back to our mat. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, arms down and fold over our legs. We can have a bend in our knees here. Inhale to flat back, aeroplane arms, shoulders back and down. Exhale, we'll come down and we'll step back to plank before lowering our knees and lowering our chin and our chest to our mat. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale, lower down. Move back slightly. So I'm on my mat. And like the locust pose we just did, in this pose, we're going to just raise our upper body up from our mat. Hands to cactus arms. And we're going to go swimming here. Well, should swim the other direction. For a few deep breaths. Change direction. And release. Bring your head to one side for a rest. We'll push ourselves up to tabletop. Cross our legs behind us and we'll come to sit on our bum before lying down on our mat. Rolling down to lie down. We'll move our heels in to our bum, and when we raise our shoulders off the ground, just so we can skim the heels here before releasing our shoulders back down to our mat. Shoulders remain back and down. Inhale, come up to bridge, raising our hips up high, keeping our pelvis tucked. Exhale, lower down, and we'll do 4 more of these, moving with our breath. Last one. And release. We'll straighten our right leg, tuck our left toes behind our right knee and twist to the right. Our left shoulder remains on our mat and we're looking to our left outstretched hand while breathing deeply. Inhale back to center and exhale, we'll switch out our legs, tucking our right toes behind our left knee and twisting to the left. Looking to our right outstretched hand. Our right shoulder remains glued to our mat and breathe deeply here. Long, slow inhales and long, slow exhales. Inhale, back to center. And we'll bring the soles of our feet to our mat, behind our bum, and we'll cross our left ankle over our right knee and bring our knee into our chest for a hip stretch. We'll hold on to the back of our thigh. We'll flex both feet in this position and breathe deeply. Feeling our breath working its way down to our left hip and back out. If we sit a lot or drive a lot, our hips can become tight. So it's nice to stretch them out. And release. Other side. Bringing our right ankle to our left knee and left knee into our chest, holding on to the back of our thigh. Both heels are flexed. And breathe deeply here, feeling our belly expand and deflate with every breath. And release. We'll bring our feet back to our mat, roll to one side and push yourselves up to sitting. I hope you enjoyed today's practice and you'll join me again. Please consider subscribing to Ciara's Home Yoga. Namaste.